before you click off this video, just watch 30 seconds because I fully believe that this is a sign and that this video may very well change the trajectory of which your life is going at now. And that's because what I'm about to share with you is something I've gone through myself hundreds of times, and I've seen a lot of other entrepreneurs experience as well, and it's single-handedly one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people don't make the amount of money they want to. And it's not like, oh, you just need to do more. No, I'm not going to sit here and say some fucking bullshit that you've heard 1,000 times, okay, which for context is partly true, but I'm going to sit here and actually share with you some cool insights. So there's three types of people in this world, okay, and let me pull up my whiteboard once again. This will be boring, but that's the reason why you're making no money. It's probably because you click off from video to video. So bear with me here because the reason why this is boring is exactly the reason why I may be right. So there's three types of people. There's person number one, there's person number two, and there's person number three. Okay? Now, person number one is the person who just does nothing. They do nothing. They don't cold call. They don't do their emails. They don't send their DMs. They don't do anything. Maybe they watch some YouTube videos. Maybe they, get some courses. Maybe they do that kind of stuff. But they really do nothing. Okay? In reality, if you look at their calendar and if you look at what it is they're doing, they don't do fuck all. And that may be you. And maybe you don't want to accept that because maybe you watch a lot of YouTube videos, okay? Or maybe, rather said, maybe you're the second person, and maybe you do a lot. Maybe you do a lot, just of the wrong things. See, maybe your calendar is packed to the brim. Maybe you have tasks every single day. Maybe you have no spare time. You have no freedom. You're working 24/7. You work till 3 a.m. You get up at 6 a.m. You work the weekends. You work so much, yet your bank account doesn't reflect the amount of work you do. And that's because you're cooking but the stove's off. Okay, that's like pouring an entire, a whole pound of frozen whatever into the pan. And you're cooking, but the stove is off. You're not going to get anywhere. You may be doing a lot. You may got a lot of shit in the pan, but if the stove isn't on, it's never going to cook. And so therefore, you aren't going to cook. And if you aren't cooking, you aren't making money. You get what I'm saying? So person number one does nothing. They do fuck all. They maybe watch one or two YouTube videos, but in reality, they do nothing. Person number two does a lot, just of the wrong things. They do so much to the point where they think they're doing something, right? And rightfully so, because they're doing a lot and they're always busy. But there's a distinctive difference between busy and productive. Busy and productive. There's a huge difference between busy and productive. Busy is just doing things for the sake of doing them and not having the time. Productive is working on the things that actually matter. Okay? And so I'm going to ask you a question. Are you being busy or are you being productive? And before you answer, I want you to take a look back at how much work you've done over the past month, let's say, and then take a look at how much new additional, not old, new additional income has come in throughout the last 30 days. And if you're sitting there going, fuck, man, why did this guy have to do me like that? Then hear me out, okay? Because, like I said, I think this is your sign. And to person number one, who's done nothing. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Just look back at your calendar. You've done fuck all. I don't think we have to sit here and mathematically figure that out. And then there's person number three, which is the ideal person. This is the Hamza's Adonis. Okay? This is the guy that does a lot. So does, not even a lot, but just does the right things. You don't even have to necessarily do a lot. You just have to do a little bit of the right things. There's a really good quote which I love, which is I'd rather work a little bit of time on the right task than a lot of time on the wrong task. And therefore the tasks we choose to work on are more important than how hard we work on them. Okay? And so I've just described three types of people. Obviously 1 and 2 are not ideal. Number 3 is the one we want to be. So I guess the question that stands is how do we become number 3? Which is a really hard question. Right? I'm not some fucking bullshit guru that's going to sit here and be like, yeah, man, just like stroke your cock, grab your neck, and tilt your head back, and boom, you're famous and rich. No. Okay? No. There's a lot of internal growth and self-development that has to happen to go from 1 to 2 and or from 1 to 3 or from 2 to 3. Okay? There's a lot that has to happen internally within yourself. You have to grow a lot and develop as a person. But how? Well, I'd say step number 1, and shout out to you, is acknowledging. You have to acknowledge what's going on because we can't change what we don't know, right? We can't change what we don't track. We can't change what we aren't aware of, okay? And step number 1 is acknowledging what you have done. So shout out to you. is acknowledging that something is wrong, something isn't right, something needs to change. That's step number one, is acknowledgement or awareness. Okay? Now, the second step is understanding where we want to go. So once we're aware of our current situation, oh shit, this sucks, where do we want to go? Well, we want to be the guy that does the right things and works less, but does the right things. Okay, cool. So then the third step is, once we've defined this, is what are the right things? What are the things that we need to do? Well, the way I like to break this down is I like to figure out, what is my goal? What do I want to do? Why did I start business? What am I doing? Like, why am I doing this right now? Why am I doing this? Right? Why are you doing what you do? Or better yet, if you're the guy number one that does nothing, why aren't you doing anything? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll give you the answer if you're number one. It's because for you, okay, the pain of changing is greater than the pain of staying the same. It means that your current situation isn't bad enough to do anything about. Or rather said, your desired situation isn't good enough to change. So there's only one or two problems here that you have to fix, which is, number one, your desired outcome that you're working towards isn't big enough, therefore you don't take any action because you're like, it's not that good. Or number two, you're not in enough pain. You haven't put enough pressure on you to actually make a decision, to actually move, to actually do something with your life. Okay? You're just sitting there, you're complacent, you're comfortable, which a lot of people are. Okay? You just have to find out which one of those two is it. Which one of those two. And once you figure out what it is, just solve for it. You're not in enough pain, go put yourself in some pain. Go buy a course. Go get some mentorship. Go get some coaching. Okay? Go invest in yourself. Right? Go put your money where your mouth is. Do whatever you need to do. Okay? Or make the desired outcome better. Right? Realize how bad your 9 to 5 is. Realize how terrible the Matrix is. Realize these things. And be like, oh shit, I want to get out. And when your why is big enough, the action takes care of itself when your why is big enough. Right? If right now you had to do what you had to do because your family was going to die if you didn't do it, would you do it? Probably. If you had to do what you had to do because there was a gun to your head and if you didn't do it, you were going to die, would you do it? Probably. So we just have to emulate that situation and get us to where we're in that state. Okay? And as for number two, I want to go back to the thing. How do we, right, as someone who does so much but just of the wrong things, figure out what the right things are? Well, to go back on what I said earlier, is find out what is it you want to do. Truly, not bullshit what the gurus tell you, what YouTube has told you. Like, what do you want to do? Tell me. Right down below. What do you want to do? Tell me. Like, what do you want to do? Write it down. Get your notepad out and sit there and write for a little bit. Don't just write one answer. Like, I want to make money. I want to retire my parents. No. Truly sit down and think about it. Okay? And then once you figure out, be like, okay, I want to do this. Ask yourself, what is required to do this? So, for example, maybe you wrote down, I want to retire my parents and buy them their dream car. Awesome. What is required to do that? Well, money. Okay, well, you can write down exactly how much money. Get clear about your goals. Okay, it's very important. And then write down the thing. Okay, you need money. Awesome. Well, how do you make money? Well, most of you probably have some sort of business. And so then the second question is, so we want to make more money. How do we make more money? Well, for most of you, it's getting more customers. Cool. So we need to get more customers. So then the next follow-up question is, how do we get more customers? And that is where the change lies. Because a lot of people do everything but the thing they know they need to do to make more money. For example, I coach a guy. And the other day he showed me his calendar. He goes, Stefan, look at my calendar. I'm so packed out. I got things from top to bottom, man. I'm filled to the brim. Like, look at my calendar. And I said to him, hey, man, can I give you some honest advice? He said, yeah, for sure. What's up? I was like, you're not going to make any money with that schedule. As a matter of fact, how much money have you made the past couple weeks? Well, I was doing this. No. How much money have you made? None. I thought so. And I wanted to explain that you could be doing a lot. Okay? But doing a lot doesn't mean it's good. Working a lot in and of itself isn't good. Because you can work a lot on the wrong things. And a lot of people do that. And that's why you make no money. It's because you're focusing on the things that don't matter. But you've convinced yourself that they do matter. You're focusing on things that don't matter, yet you've convinced yourself that they do matter. And so there's a problem here. Because you believe it matters. But objectively, it doesn't matter because there's no more money in your bank account. And once again, your goal is to retire your parents. So if you don't have money, you're not going to do that. Okay? And so here's the thing I want to instill and install whatever in your brain. It's that working less but on the right things is more important and will get you further than working more but on the wrong things. And so for you, number two, if this is you, the thing you need to focus on is actually doing things that matter. Does watching that YouTube video really matter? Does buying that new course, does that actually matter? And here's the thing. You can make excuses. Yeah, but if I learn this and I can increase my LTV and this guy stays longer, dude, you have one client. Think about it objectively. Put the emotions aside objectively. Right? Does showing up to the call really matter? Okay? Does buying that other mentorship program really matter? Does fixing your systems really matter? Does setting up that new automation bot really matter? Does hiring a new team member really matter? Or does getting more clients really matter? The cool thing about business is your bank account reflects your actions and your decisions. And so we can clearly see which one you value more. And just happens to be number two that tends to be the wrong one for you. So if you want to change that, focus on what matters. And don't let yourself don't convince yourself you're smarter than you are. All of us can sit here and argue why YouTube is beneficial. Do you think Alex Hormozi watches YouTube videos? Maybe. I bet if he does, it's to get inspiration or ideas from other people. Or see what's working. But I argue he doesn't. Yeah, I know there's people that have made more money than him that post YouTube content. So why doesn't he watch YouTube videos? Well, I think it's very clear. He knows what he needs to do. And so instead of trying to learn more and new things, he does what he already knows he needs to do until he doesn't know what to do, and then he's probably going to go pay somebody to tell him what to do. I don't know. I only talk to Hormozi once a week. I don't talk to him on a one-to-one basis, but I do have a bit of insight into his life. So here's the thing, my friend. There's three people in this world. My question to you is, which one do you want to be? One does nothing, one does a lot, just makes no money, and one does as little or as much as he likes and makes a lot of money. I've just explained all three and how to get to the desired situation. You have to identify which one you are and which one you want to be. And once again, my friend, whatever you are, your bank account will reflect your actions. So it doesn't really matter what you do. At the end of the day, the bank account tells the truth. Okay? So just ask yourself, who do you want to be? And remember, your mind is fucking with you. It's always fucking with you. And I can guarantee you, you can always find an excuse to not do the thing you know you should be doing. But the thing that's in the back of your head, that you know you should be doing, subconsciously you know you should be doing it, but you're not doing it, I'd argue that's the thing that you need to be doing more of. Not the random miscellaneous things that feel good to do, that feel good, but don't actually get you anywhere. Peace.